Hello, and welcome to today's webinar on remote monitoring of compressed air systems to be regularly efficient. Now I'd like to welcome today John Smithy, Connectivity Manager at Quincy Compressor. John, welcome and take it away.
Thank you very much, Christine. I really appreciate it. So today I'm very excited to talk to everyone about cellular connectivity and how it can benefit you and your company. So jumping ahead here, today cellular connectivity is a reality. If you look at across a lot of business sectors and industries, more and more companies are starting cellular connectivity projects within their certain sectors. You take a look at fleet management. They have a lot of cellular connectivity projects that are based on tracking truck locations. The security sector uses it for security cameras, for lone workers, for pipeline viewing. Supply chain processes use it just for asset tracking. And connected home solutions, which I'm sure most of you see today as well. So again, cellular connectivity is becoming more and more prevalent in all sectors across industry. So what does that mean for you? How does that affect you? I just really want to quickly tell you how cellular connectivity works in the compressor industry. So how it works is you have an air compressor with a central controller. It sends information to a cellular modem, which would be in the compressor. That turns around and sends a signal to the cloud, which uses software that provides you guys with a lot of really cool insights. So some of the information that you might get from your compressor is going to be running hours. You're going to see of those running hours, how many are loaded hours, how many are unloaded hours. It calculates your utilization. It sends pressure, temperatures, service alerts, all this cool stuff, which I look forward to showing you in the upcoming slides. So what I want to talk about next are insights. Cellular connectivity offers really a whole host of insights that will benefit you. But today I really want to focus on 4 insights. I want to focus on increased machine availability, how to lower your energy consumption with cellular connectivity, process and production efficiencies, and then also just some basic management of compressed air usage. So let's jump right into how you can use cellular connectivity to increase machine availability. So here, it's been proven that we've seen in our industry that connected machines will offer you 16 more days in a year of availability. Now, how does that happen? Well, when you have cellular connectivity, it really helps you understand what's going on with your machines. Is it due for service? Is there a service alarm that you need to address? It helps you with technical efficiency. So if you have to work on a machine, based on the data that you're getting back from cellular connectivity, you can analyze the event prior to the visit. You can make sure you have the correct parts available. All that good stuff. It helps you be prepared to solve issues faster because you're getting information from the machine that's real-time data. No one really has time nowadays to stand around the compressor or walk through the compressor room all day long, every day, looking after the machines. Nowadays, you can easily get this information from your desktop, from your computer. You can see what's going on with your compressors with a mouse click away. The other things that really help with machine availability is service. We all know that a machine that's not properly serviced really starts to lose efficiency. You get less CFM, you're using more power to drive the CFM, machines break down, it's unreliable. And today with cellular connectivity, you can get information quickly from the machine. It tells you, again, like I said earlier, that, hey, this machine's due for service. Let's make sure we get it serviced. Or, hey, this machine's going down on a high temp warning, so we need to get out there with a cooler, something to clean the coolers, maybe a thermal valve or a temperature probe, something like that. So again, it helps you instinctively look after your machine very quickly, predictively, and you don't have downtime issues based on service. This is a typical situation that you really want to avoid when you're looking after your machines. You can see here that this machine needs service. Again, this area here is customer reaction time. So with cellular connectivity, you react very quickly to machine issues as opposed to waiting down the road where you need service. You know, you run a risk for a breakdown, your energy consumption is going up, the machine's less efficient, and you're drawing more horsepower to pull the same CFM. So again, this is what you really want to avoid. But when you actually use the cellular connectivity to your advantage, you really have a minimal risk for machine breakdown. You can plan your downtime according to your production, so it's not going to inhibit your ability to make product, again, which is very value added. You don't have unexpected failures when you look after your machine and do service when it's required as opposed to when there's a breakdown situation. Some other cool features of cellular connectivity that you can see here is that it will send you, it can send you text messages and alert you when the machine has an issue, right? So if it goes down on e-stop, if there's a service warning, for example, if it's a high temp warning, if the machine is due for service, all these things will be sent to you or to anyone you want it sent to. So it could be a maintenance manager in the plant or anyone else, and they will know immediately when that machine has an issue. Like I said earlier, you know, not everyone has time to walk around the compressor room all day and look after the machines, but when you use cellular connectivity to your advantage, it really gives you the information very quickly, and then you know, hey, this is the problem I got to tackle, let's go get it. So I want to talk now about some energy savings and how you can use cellular connectivity to handle that. So you can use it in a lot of different ways, right? You can monitor your entire system. You can analyze demand swings, calculate process efficiencies. You can do some benchmarking on your KW, calculate volumes, all this good stuff you can get with data that you pull in through cellular connectivity. So what I want to do now is walk through a couple of scenarios where you can use this information and how it might benefit you to solve problems or issues that you might encounter. So what we have here is, you know, a typical compressor room layout. You got 3 compressors that are running, and then you're looking at the software, you're getting information that the cellular connectivity is providing you in the cloud, and you see, hey, I got 3 machines here. They're running at partial capacity, 50%. You know, what's the problem? So it really helps. First of all, you see that, hey, I can turn a compressor off and save money, which is very value added. But it also helps you do an investigation to see, okay, what's causing this issue? Is it artificial demand? Is it an issue with flow or system pressure? Maybe we need to install a flow controller on this particular site. Do we need to implement more storage? So again, the data that you pull down from the system really helps you understand issues and save money on power based on system design and enhancements and things that you can implement based on this data. And how does this work? So it pulls down, so it transmits your running hours, and it really lets you know things like, hey, of my running hours, how much time is my machine running loaded versus unloaded, because you really don't want it to run unloaded a lot. So it gives you that information to make sure that you're running efficiently. And also running hours for utilization, again, it sends you that information. On VFDs, it'll tell you at what percentage of the time it runs at this capacity. So again, you can pull all this information down and use it day to day. This here is another common situation that you might encounter. So you'll see demand swings. So one week, let's say your production is 1,000 widgets. The following week, it's 1,000 widgets, but you noticed you used 25% more air than the previous week. It really helps you understand, hey, we need to go out here and do an audit and see where we're losing this air. Is it an air leak in one of the pipes? Do we have some folks that aren't following best practices and using compressed air to clean up their workstations? You know, maybe we need to do some training to eliminate that and allow us to save money based on the fact that we're using more air than we need to use for processes that aren't value added. Again, connectivity insights. I have an example here where you have 2 production lines. You pull down information from the machine, and you can see, okay, on week 1, we ran line 1, and it ran, at X amount of CFM. Then the following week, you switch to the older line that you might have, and you see that, hey, it uses 50% more air than line 1. Okay, what does that tell you? It tells you that, hey, we're using more air on this particular line to make the same amount of product that we did last week. So it really helps you, see, hey, we need to either work on this machine and really drive process improvements on it. We can do an overhaul on the production line to bring it up to spec as the other one is, or we can actually rework the line or build another one. And this helps you quantify in dollars what this means to you as a company. Hey, it's taken us, X amount of dollars more a week when we use this particular line based on the fact that it's not running efficiently. We're using a lot more compressed air than we would on a nicer line, a newer line. This is another situation you might see where you have, you have multiple manufacturing lines doing different processes, making different products under the same roof, but they're sharing the compressed air from a central location. For example, you see this line's making copiers, and maybe the other line over here is making windshields for cars. The copier folks are using X amount of CFM a month. The windshield lines using X amount of CFM a month. So it helps you say, hey, we need to bill each line based on the CFM usage that they're using. You can bill each department based on usage. So again, you can use icons. You can use cellular connectivity to accomplish this. You can also, put this in the header of the line. So it doesn't have to be on a compressor. You actually can put it on the header of a line, which would be a DIN box kit, which has 4 inputs. So if you want to monitor dew point or pressure or temperature or flow, you have the ability to do that with this system. If you have 4 dryers you want to monitor, you can do that. So the possibilities are endless on what you want to monitor based on what you need and what your needs are. You can use cellular connectivity in that way as well. Another example of how you can use it is in benchmarking. So you can calculate based on the KW usage that you're drawing. Hey, you can do post and pre analysis for benchmarking. So if you know you're using X amount of KW 1 week, then your production goes up 2,000 widgets. The following week you can say, oh, okay, in this particular scenario, we know that if we make 2,000 more widgets, it's going to cost us X amount in KW usage. So the system allows you to see that. It also allows you to understand if there's issues with a corrective action. So let's say you do an air audit on a system, and you can actually measure after the air audit, okay, what was the impact? So before we used X amount of power to run the machines, and now we use this. So you can actually quantify the cost benefit of doing an air audit. You can also measure corrective actions that you've implemented and kind of get a feel for what's going on there. You can also take a look at demand growth. So again, if you're growing and you're making more product, you can analyze the cost, the true cost of doing that. With the cellular information that you're pulling down from the system, you get an idea, okay, if we, like I said earlier, if we're making more product, 2,000 widgets, it's costing us X amount in our power consumption. So I just really want to run through a quick recap before we start taking questions. So the key benefits, again, are increased machine availability. And how does it do that? It allows you to service the machines quicker, on time. It allows you to be predictive in your service. You can, again, this means 10 to 15 days more availability to you in a year. And really, you got to ask yourself, what does that mean to you? Is it $100,000 a day? Is it $15,000 a day? Is it $200,000 a day? You also can reduce your energy consumption through benchmarking activities. You can also do process efficiencies. You can recognize and react to demand swings in your processes. And then compressed air management, you can You can actually quantify what certain lines or certain processes are using in CFM, and then you can build those departments accordingly and see that. So that's all I have for content. I'd like to turn it over to some questions now. We can talk more about it.
Okay. Great, John. Thank you so much for that great primer on cellular connectivity and the examples, the many examples of how you can get, gosh, even additional weeks of machine availability a year, as well as the improved energy management. Thank you very much. We will go ahead and move on to our Q&A portion of the webinar now. And we've got a couple of questions here. First of all, what steps are taken to prevent outsiders from getting into the public cell phone network, into a plant data system? How do you ensure cybersecurity?
Okay, that's a very good question. So I just want to really emphasize the fact that cellular connectivity, it's a cellular system. It's not going to be tied into your network. It's not going to be tied into your system. So it's not going to serve as a gateway for a virus or for a gateway for someone to come into your systems. Also, it's a monitoring device only. So it's not going to allow someone to stop your compressor or let it go down on e-stop or control the machine in any way. It's solely to monitor the machine, and that's it.
Okay, great. All right. We have another question here. What if, say, you're a customer, if you have a customer that has 3 different manufacturers' compressors, what are some best practices that you would recommend there?
Okay, so yeah, so you can absolutely use different types of situations there. So you can use a DIN box and with competitive machines, and really all you need to know is you put the DIN box out there. You can put in different inputs. Like I said earlier, it could be a dew point or it could be pressure or flow. So use an input box, and then you connect the cellular modem through the input box, and that way you can monitor any machine type. It's very flexible. It could be a gauge machine. It can be VFDs. It can be competitive equipment. Again, all you need is an input and a power supply and a good cell signal in the location of where you're using it, and it works just fine. Like I said earlier, you can put it in the header of the system, and hook flow meters and different things there and get true flow readings at certain processes that you need to use it for. Again, it doesn't have to be on a machine. It can be out in the plant, in the header, getting good information, sending it back, things that you want it to show you.
Right. Okay. Great. Well, John, I have one more quick closing question. For people who are kind of evaluating how remote connectivity, cellular connectivity can work for them and who are kind of moving in this direction, do you get any common questions from people in that situation, or what kind of things would you recommend that, that people know as they're looking about how to make this work for me?
We get a lot of questions about cellular connectivity, and the real key in how you make it work is you got to connect. Like I said earlier, you need to connect the machines. You need to use the data that the machines give you. Sign up for the text messages. Make sure that you're getting that information, because again, a machine that's serviced on time and properly will give you 16 days of more availability. So as far as best practices, I would connect the machines, and I'd make sure that you have people who, your service folks, tied into the to the machines and getting the notifications back saying, hey, it's down on high temperature. You can get out there before there's even an issue. So you fix problems before there's any downtime at all, which is very value added. Again, the cost of downtime it depends on who you are. I'd say that everyone on the call would say that they don't want to have downtime. So it's definitely valuable there.
Well, thanks for that recap. John, thank you again, and I'd like to thank our sponsor, Quincy Compressor, and all of you who joined us today. As a reminder, this webinar has been recorded, and it'll be available shortly for on-demand viewing. You're also encouraged to visit plantservices.com to gain access to even more tools and resources aimed at helping you achieve success in compressed air management. Did you like this presentation? Let us know your thoughts shortly by answering our brief survey that will appear on your screen soon. Your candid answers are not only appreciated, but also they help us craft future events. Thank you for your attendance, and have a great rest of your day.